It's early in the morning and we are up before most of the rest of the world is up. In fact, in my neighborhood, a lot of people work nights, so they're just coming home. So I've just finished saying that and someone wants to drive by. Okay, well, day 9, RPG a day. Getting close to the end of the how questions. How has a game surprised you? I like this question. This is a question that makes a person think. How has a game surprised me? And I thought, well, am I going to answer this, in terms of the events of the session or the group of people who played it? But I think I've been talking a lot about system this year, and so I'm going to try and continue in that vein. So, how has a game surprised me? When we decided to play Star Trek Adventures, because that is the game that surprised me the most in recent times. I didn't have an expectation that it would feel so much like Star Trek. Usually when I look at a game now, I have an eye for how it's different from what I've played before, which has an effect on reducing the impact of surprise, right? Like, I have maybe great expectations for some games, like I can't wait until I see how this part interacts with the players and that sort of thing, or how we make use of this, or what comes of that. But when we considered using 2D20 for Star Trek Adventures, what caught me by surprise, as I said, was the feel of the game. It felt, really legitimately felt, like Star Trek. And it encouraged, through its procedures, the Star Trek lore baked into the playgroup that we have to come out in conversation. And my speculation on how it was able to do that is that the game radically changes how the character creation process and works, and what in fact a character is. There are lots of games that make you feel like you're playing a competent character. I can't think of any game out there which has done that in a way like this, where the competence of the character is so well matched to what you see in the original property. I can't think of one that does it the same way. And that gives you the feel right out of the gate that you're playing a Starfleet officer, right? That level of competence is really obvious right from the beginning. And then the system continues to reinforce that. The way that difficulty is described and works matches this, level, this high level of competence. And character progression and promotion are separated so that the one doesn't influence the other, right? And character skill improvement is more often than not a shift in focus by the playgroup into different skill areas for the character, rather than an endless stacking up of abilities. All of these things combined gives us the strong feel of being part of that televised network of adventure. And this was a big surprise. So if you are a Star Trek fan, and if you've, like me, never really been able to get a Star Trek game to the table, the last time I tried really hard, we had the choice between Starfleet officers and vampires, and people chose vampires. So if you haven't considered playing it, and if you wonder, well, it's just another role-playing game, with a skin of Star Trek over it, I would challenge that statement and say, give it a try. It's surprising.